What's up, Chasers? In today's episode, we're going to be talking about which is better for you, fresh, frozen, or canned. So if you're already a follower, thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the gift of your time. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Monica. I'm a certified master life coach, certified personal trainer, and nutrition coach. So let's jump in. If you do not know which is better for you, okay. I was talking to one of my mom friends last night, actually, and we had a conversation about doing the best that we can. So, of course, fresh fruit, if you can get it out of your backyard, sometimes if you can get it out of the farmer's market, is going to be great for you. However, the problem that we have in the South is we go to the grocery store and we get fruits and vegetables, fresh ones, supposedly. By the time we get them home, and within a couple of days, they're already going bad. It's so hot here. And, a lot of these things, they are shipped in from other places in the country, possibly other countries, so they're not at their peak freshness. And that goes for fruits and vegetables. We'll buy things like oranges and, things with thicker skin that can sit out on the counter. Even if you put them in the refrigerator, they're going to go bad. So bananas, it gets really hot here, and bananas, when we leave them sitting out on the counter, they turn brown really, really quickly. And the same goes with fresh vegetables. It's hard to keep fresh vegetables. And so, with frozen vegetables and frozen fruits are probably the most nutritious for us where we are. And the reason being is by the time all this stuff is shipped over, it's not at its peak freshness. When the stuff is frozen, it is actually flash frozen. So when it's flash frozen, it's frozen at its peak ripeness, which means it's probably at its most nutritious. So if you can get the frozen vegetables, and a lot of times they're cheaper than fresh, and sometimes, they're comparable to canned vegetables. And canned vegetables, when it comes down to it, a lot of times have a lot of sodium in them. So same with fruit, they don't have sodium in them so much they're canned in syrup or they're canned in fruit juices, which means there's added sugar on top of the naturally occurring sugars in the fruits. And the naturally occurring sugars in the fruits are not necessarily bad for you unless you're having to watch your sugar, diabetes, that's a whole different topic. But as far as fresh, frozen, or canned, now you can eat canned vegetables. I buy applesauce. Mine like applesauce with, they actually get the unsweetened applesauce. It's just plain apples. It's actually pretty good. I like it. I'm not a big apple fan, but I like the applesauce. And they love it, and it's unsweetened. There's no added sugars, so that's fine. And if you can get organic, even better. And the organic thing is a whole different topic. But the canned vegetables a lot of times have sodium in them. The canned fruits a lot of times have extra sugar in them by way of syrup or fruit juices. And the frozen is probably the most nutritious for you. Like I said, it's frozen at its peak freshness. But here's the thing. A lot of times it's hard for me to get mine to eat fresh fruits or fresh vegetables. So I'll try to cook the canned, or I'll throw the fresh fruits in smoothies. Sometimes they don't want the smoothies because, of course, they're healthy for you, and we're talking about children. So what you can do, worst case scenario, use the canned applesauce without sugar in it. Use the canned vegetables if they'll only eat canned green beans. That's not a big deal. Of course, you want them to have the most nutritious foods possible, but at the same time, when we're moms and we're busy, and it's not that we don't care about our children. I'll spit it out in a minute. It's not that we don't care about our children. We do. We absolutely do. But we're doing the best that we can. And if it comes down to it, if there's a choice between fresh, frozen, or canned, and they'll only eat the canned is better than none. It's better for them to eat the canned vegetables that you've rinsed off, like I do possibly. I know I do, but maybe possibly you do as well, to get the sodium off of, get as much sodium off of them as you can, and get them to eat those as opposed to something else that's not as nutritious for them. Of course, they're going to want chicken nuggets, they're going to want chips, they're going to want french fries, burgers, hot dogs, that type of thing. And those things are okay in moderation. But we don't want them to eat that all the time. So if we do happen to give them chicken nuggets and we throw in some canned green beans, it's not the end of the world. Small changes, and if we can get them to eat, if we try to feed them things that they hate, they're not going to want to eat it. And I'm not of the club where you absolutely have to eat this even if you hate it. I'm not going to eat food I hate, and I'm an adult. So I'm not going to force it on my children either. I will ask them to try it. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. But I put a very small amount on their plate to cut down on food waste. So if you can increment these changes, and I'll get them to try it 2 or 3 times before I know that they absolutely don't like it, and not 2 or 3 times in the same 2 or 3 days. It'll be try some this time, couple 3 months later, try some this time. I know you didn't like it last time, just try it, see if you like it. Most of the time, they're not going to because they remember saying they didn't like it before, but I have had success in the past where they do like it this time. So that is today's episode. Stay tuned. Check back in on Tuesdays and Fridays for some more information, and stay tuned because we will be having guests on the show. Until then, enjoy the chase.